Well, good evening, folks. Welcome back to the farm. It's a beautiful evening out here. I really got to get my poop in a group. We've had an adventure of a day, boy. You look at the sky. Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. It was beautiful, then it was not beautiful. Then it was beautiful, then it was terrible. Now it's beautiful again. And I got lots to do. I got to move chicken tractors. I got to pack gravel. I got to move some mulch. None of that's going to happen without some Canadian aftershave because the mosquitoes are out here, so should make me a little less appetizing. So it's 8:45 at night. It is 27 degrees Celsius out here. It is hot, but whatever. Get some grain, get the chickens fed, top up their water. I'm gonna move the chicken tractors one more time here this evening. Just get it. Yeah, it's been such a hot, it's kind of stuffy day. If they've pooped in there, then the flies are around. So I'm just gonna move them to fresh grass overnight. Typically I would just do that in the morning, but just again, because it's been so hot and stuffy, I'm sure they'll appreciate the clean sheets before they go to bed. Chicken tractors are moved. They're all in the fresh grass. We got this 300-gallon trailer that we fill up with water. I just put it out here so I don't have to pack pails all the way from the shop. But it's looking like it's about the same distance from the trailer as it is to the chicken tractors from the shop. So might be time to come over with the side-by-side maybe tomorrow. Hook onto this thing and drag it down one of the rows and get it more strategically positioned here. So this is the gravel I got to shovel, and this is what I got to shovel it into. Now, if you would have come back, I don't know, a couple hours ago, you probably would have thought I was building a raised garden bed here. In fact, that's not what's happening at all. Like I said, it's like 27 degrees out here. It's cooking hot. We live in a dark blue house, which, faces south, so it attracts a lot of heat. And we built the house. We didn't put air conditioning in because, pockets are only so deep, right? So you can only do so much at a certain point in time in your life. So day after tomorrow, they're coming to put in the AC unit right here. So I'm just building that pad and got a little bit of gravel left, pack some clay inside a nice box. Gonna give it a nice level place to sit. All right, so I'm all done spreading gravel. Now the real work begins. As you can see behind me is the mulch pile. This actually is Arborist chips we just got. This was a ATCO power line runs along the west side of our quarter, along the north side as well. And they'd phoned a couple times and said, well, can we spray? Can we spray? And I said, absolutely not. But you can come in and brush cut and selectively cut as you need to and mulch it. And they had said on the phone that, well, they're gonna mulch and just blow it directly into the ditch. That way the biomass doesn't leave the area. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. But then I run into the guy on the road the other day, and they were just chipping into the back of a trailer, and they weren't just blowing it back in the ditch. So I said, well, what do you do with it? And he said, well, usually somebody wants it. And I said, well, I want it. And he said, how much do you want? I said, how much do you got? And so he brought me a load of, probably 5 or 6 yards of Arborist chips. This is everything right off of our power line. So it's poplar, spruce, all kinds of stuff. And just beautiful wood chips. Got lots of pine needles, lots of leaves in it. And oftentimes, because we're going to put this right in the garden, right? So oftentimes wood chips getting a bit of a bad rap when it comes to putting in the garden because, it can be a nitrogen thief. All right, well, that's not untrue if you're just using straight wood chips, right? But if you're using Arborist chips that still have all the green material, all the pine needles, all the leaves and stuff in it, it does help to balance it out. The other thing they kind of get a bad rap about is, what if they bring a bunch of diseases in? Well, the truth be told, and again, this is a lot of misconception out there because you can find anything you want on the internet, but the reality is that the diseases that are carried by trees will only affect your flowers and your vegetables if you're in the case where you've got really, really weak biology in your soil. So it's possible, low chance possibility, however, and if you've got a good amount of organic material, of biodiverse soil, any of the diseases that are going to affect these woody plants are likely not even going to be able to survive what's happening inside your garden already. The other thing they run into when you're talking about this, and people are hesitant to put this stuff in is allelopathic properties. And so you put a bunch of mulch in there, and then your seeds won't take. Okay, well, where am I spreading this? I'm spreading this in the pathways between the beds. I'm not spreading this on the beds. I'm spreading this in between the beds. So I want the allelopathic properties. I actually want it to suppress weed growth. I'm going to put probably a layer 4 to 6 inches deep in those pathways. Some people put, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. That's really not enough to suppress any kind of weed growth, especially grass growth. You want a good layer, good 4 to 6 inches. That's actually half a pine cone. That's kind of interesting to see how that gets cut in half, if you ever wanted to see the inside of a pine cone. But yeah, not concerned. And really, even as far as nitrogen stealing, this stuff just sits on the surface. So it's going to pick up, any amount of nitrogen on that first 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of soil. Boy, the mosquitoes are sure coming out, even though I doused myself in that stuff. So yeah, the top 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of soil, there's going to be some stuff. So yeah, you wouldn't want to spread this fresh wood chips on areas where you've just seeded things, but or right in around the potato beds and stuff like that, where it's there, those stuff's buried like 12 inches deep. Not a concern at all. So this is, being raw, unaged. It means that a lot of the nutrients that you would typically lose through composting and aging are still in here. And there's going to be a lot more carbon that's available in here. Composting actually uses up carbon during the heating process. So we're going to be able to have all that carbon available to the soil. So it's actually going to increase, or improve, I should say, the soil conditions in and around our garden bed. So anyways, enough chatting. I got some wheelbarrowing to do here. So I got about 1.5 rows done here now. And I just thought, well, before the wind picks up and the sun goes down, I better give you this other fun fact as to why we're mulching. It's not just about soil biology and adding carbon to the soil. There's a lot of other benefits. Of course, Mother Nature doesn't like to be bare-breasted. Mother Nature likes to be covered. So in those walkways, if we don't do anything, we're going to have weeds. We're also going to have hard-baked soil. So the mulch layer helps to increase water retention in and around the beds by as much as 67%. That's incredible. It also helps to reduce soil surface temperatures by about 20 degrees Celsius. So you can imagine today is 27 degrees outside. In the afternoon sun, that means the soil surface temperature on these areas which aren't mulched could easily be 47 degrees. I mean, that's hot. That's really hot. So in areas where you've just seeded, you can imagine what that does. Okay, I spread some water, it warms up, the seed germinates, the seed dries out, the seed bakes, and then nothing grows, right? So being able to reduce the surface temperature of the soil, being able to retain water in and around the beds is pretty important to the grocery bill at the end of the year. Anyways, as you can see, there's not a lot of daylight left, and I've still got 1/2 row to do here. And despite how much bug spray I put on myself, I am an appetizer right now. I am an hors d'oeuvre for all these mosquitoes, so I better get cracking. So I'll let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.